Hey, what's going on there, you guys? It's your girl, Pretty Sexy Jara Brand, aka Sonder Assassin, and of course, Assassin family. You know, we are back for another review and recap. And of course, we are going back down to the A, baby, to join our Real Housewives of Atlanta, baby. Of course, we are still in season 16. And tonight, whenever you're seeing this review, we are reviewing episode 7, Nashville Hold'em. Baby, we've been picking up as the season's been going on. This season's been coming in real hot, been giving us really a lot of juicy tea. Um, but you guys sit back, relax, and get prepared to be entertained and enjoy and catch up on the Real Housewives of Atlanta with your girl, Pretty Sexy Jarrett Brand, aka Stoner Assassin. And make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. What it do, Assassin family, my silent but deadly ninjas. What it do, what it do, what it do. Thank y'all for showing love as always and showing support and of course sharing and commenting. And also Assassin family, I meant to mention this at the beginning of the video, but what better time than now? We have a new assassin. So you guys, we have went from 214 to 215. Come on, Assassin family. Let's keep growing. But y'all, I'm not gonna hold this up anymore. I'm finna go and let us get into our review of Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16, episode 7, Nashville Hold'em. Baby, let's tap in, tune in. So yes, y'all. As we get into our opening scene, it is our girl Britt and her husband, and they are at the car dealership. And Britt says, honey, you said every 2 years and our anniversary, I get a brand new car. So yes, baby, let's go on a lot, pick out something brand new. And our girl Britt, of course, shares with us. There's been a rough couple of weeks because this is shortly after, the whole incident between her and Kenya and it being publicized. So it's actually good to see our girl Britt in good spirits and just doing what she do. Balling and of course shopping for a brand new vehicle. And we see our girl getting into some of the cars, testing them out, baby. She's really got her eye on this all white car and I'm loving it. It's just giving very much so high glam, high fashion, high style. And it's just good, like I said, to see our girl in good spirits and just enjoying and entertaining and making light. And also while we're at the dealership, our girl asks us, is it in her price range? And of course the man says, oh, yes, ma'am, it's in your price range. Boom. Britt's like, girl, I got coin, okay? I see you, Britt. But then y'all, as we move from that scene of Britt, we see our girl Miss Drew, and she is going over to Miss Angela's home, baby, and she's knocking on the door, and she's trying to see what's going on. And Miss Angela lets her in, and Miss Angela clocks Drew's bag, and she said, "Oh, okay, Drew, I see you, girl." Drew's like, "Yeah, well, of course I'm coming to see Miss Angela Oakley, baby. I gotta show up." Okay, it's just giving a lot of fun, a lot of vibes, a lot of tea. But the ladies go sit outside of Miss Angela's backyard under her villa, and baby, they just get down to the nitty gritty about the event. Also about Drew saying that she's related to the famous basketball player, and come to find out she is not. Baby, and we just kicking and having just a good time. But Miss Angela says at their peace brunch, the grits weren't done all the way, and she was like, "Girl, the girls in the drama. Pretty much, it just was not giving what was supposed to be gave." And our girl Drew, she chimes in and she gives, her Kiki. And then y'all, we go from seeing them to our next scene, and it is our girls Kels, and our girls Kels is in the kitchen whipping it up with her sister. And baby, we find out that Kels had lost her baby once, which is her furry baby. And after she lost her furry baby and she got them back, she decided, she was like, "Baby, we're gonna color my dog, and we're not losing my furry baby no more." And, as she is telling us about that, we get a knock at the door, and it is our girl, Miss Cynthia Bailey. Come on, Miss Cynthia. Miss Cynthia's looking good, and she's coming up with Kale's house. And then the next thing you know, it's our girl, Miss Shamia. Baby, we get another knock at the door. Just love, love, love. And then our last guest is, of course, Miss Portia. And Miss Portia come up in that thing, walking. And our girls Kelsey, do I need to call security? She's like, 'cause y'all girls do not mind by busting up in somebody's house. And I'm just like, well, girl, I mean, the front door is unlocked and knew the ladies were coming. But I understand, they're laughing, keeping it very lighthearted. And it's just good to see all of the ladies, honestly. And then we go from that scene, and y'all, we are back at the dealership, and it is, of course, our girl Miss Britt and her husband Mike, and they are just having a side conversation and talking, about a few things about what's been going on and their plans to move ahead, and it's actually very good to see. And just to see them have this conversation and have this talk, and like I said, see our girl Britt in good spaces, good places, and just see how she's moving along. And then after we see our girl Britt and her husband, we move back to our scene with Miss Angela and Miss Drew. And of course, the ladies are outside, and Miss Angela is filling Miss Drew in on some things, that have been occurring and going on within the group. And they're talking and having discussions. And, we have a little kiki. But then, y'all, we go back to our girls' Kale's house, and Kels and the ladies are sitting on the couch, and Portia is, talking to the ladies and letting them know, about her birthday plans and her weekend, and, you know, taking them all to Nashville. And baby, the ladies were excited. They was like, okay, we get to get up on our cowgirl hats and cowboy boots. And they was like, we're gonna have us a good time. And our girl Portia shares when they were on the call or when she was inviting all the ladies, you know, she was questioning about was everyone coming, who all was coming, and you know, she said all the ladies were invited, and she said Miss Angela brought up about Drew coming, and she was just like, and y'all, these ladies, I don't know. It's just giving. It's a lot going on. It's a lot of pieces moving. It's a lot of things happening. And I'm just like, wow. But not only that, we do get to see, you know, just them having like a split scene of Miss Portia and Drew and everything that's going on, and baby, it's gonna get to some teas, and then we get another split on split screen. We got a three-way split screen. It's our girl Drew, Portia, and Britt, and it's about Miss Drew reaching out to Miss Britt and about them, talking, going to have a conversation. Y'all, okay, Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16. I see how y'all got this ball rolling. But y'all, as we get on into our next scene, so yes, y'all. As we get into our next scene, it is our girls, Kels, and she is teaching her daughter how to parallel park. They are in the car, and Kels has set out combs to show her daughter how to parallel park. And it's very nice to see Kels always in her mommy mode when she's not being a boss and handling business. Just see how much time and care and love and effort she puts into her daughters, and how much time she loves to truly spend time with them. And then y'all, we go from that scene into our next scene, which is our girl Shamia. And Shamia is in the studio laying down the vocals, laying down the tracks. And our girl is really in a good place, in a good zone. And we can, as we can see, and in a very good headspace while she is in the studio recording. And it's very, very lovely to see because, Miss Shamia does deserve to achieve her dreams and her goals that she's always wanted. And music, as you can tell, is dear and near to her heart. And then, y'all, we go from that scene to our next scene. And baby, it is our girl, Portia and Miss Cynthia and baby, they are sitting down, and the girls are talking the kitchen up, and they're kicking and going down memory lane. But not only that, they do kind of talk about a little bit about Portia's divorce, and Miss Cynthia shares with Portia her favorite hashtag used to be his piece. And they bust out to laughing. And Miss Portia said, even when I win his piece, it was be his piece. Okay, all right. But y'all, we're now finna get into the juice. Which is that of course is our girl Miss Britt and Miss Drusador to meet up and have their sit down and to talk after the whole peace brunch that just did not go too well. And they sit down. But first of all, I'm gonna say this: both of the ladies look very, very good. They look had this whole hair, laid, outfits, nice, jewelry on. And the ladies are just sitting there and they're getting to know one another. And you can just see um Britt and Drew are not really close, so this is kind of like a little awkward. But the ladies sit down, and of course, they get into talking, and then we get some questions from Drew. Was like, "So, were you selling it? Were you using it?" I, and I was like, "Drew, wait a minute, wait, Drew, wait, hot, too fast, hot, hold." And you know, Britt's kind of looking at Drew like, girl, wait, what are you asking me? Like, what are you talking about right now? And the ladies then dive into a deeper conversation. And Britt expresses, what if this was you waking up to being in the blogs, people talking about you, and it's just not helping you, it's hurting you. And it's very just not fair. And our girl Drew says, what, I do understand where you're coming from because, I'm going through a divorce and I know how it is to wake up and every morning they're saying this and someone's saying that. And not only are they while they're having that moment and having this conversation, but the ladies do end on a very nice note. Drew says, hey, she can understand and she can be there for Britt. And Britt says, hey, even though her and Drew are not the best of friends, the conversation has happened and now they can just move forward. And babe, before they even leave this table, Britt asks our girl Drew, so can you and Portia have a conversation? And baby, they had to take a drink on that. And y'all, we go from that scene to our next scene. So yes, y'all. As we get into our next scene, it is our girl Drew, and y'all, it is court day for Drew and her ex-husband, and Drew looks very nice. I love the ginger, I love the fit, but you can just tell it's a lot of tension. There is a lot of moving pieces that are happening and going on. And we're just finding out a lot that is occurring in their divorce. And of course, they're asking Drew, like, what is in the documents that are they trying to keep sealed and, not released to the public? And Drew's just like, it shouldn't be out there. And, it's very damaging to her husband. And it's just like not really looking that good because it's just a lot of tension, a lot of stress. And he has a new attorney and they're filing motions against motions that her attorney has already filed. And it's just a lot. But of course, we cannot see what is actually going on inside the courtroom. So we are left outside for a few minutes. And after those few minutes are up, we come back outside and we see Drew and her ex husband coming out of the courtroom. And let's just say, Drew is very upset. Her ex husband is very chipper. Okay, look, we're just gonna put it that way. He's very happy about things. And he was like, well, at least he didn't have to move out of the house and all these other things. And he's just celebrating. And none of Drew's motions that her lawyer put in basically got granted or approved. They all kind of much got denied. And So now it's like her case and things that she's gonna have to come up with and use to fight against him has to start over, and that is very annoying. And then not only that, just to see him just like really happy about it and chipper. And when they get outside, they get in the car. Drew sees him and Drew lets down the window. Drew couldn't even hold it in. Drew was like, "You're dumb. You're dumb." I was like, "Okay, Drew. All right, Drew. Waiting to exhale, Angela Bassett. I feel you. I see you. I feel you, Drew." Because what Drew's like, is this like, did he ever love her? Was this all just a money grab? This is why I always tell people, you gotta be careful about who you fall in love with. Because some people are not really in love with you. Some people are in love with like your wealth, your access, your fortune. And hey, but this thing is very difficult. We're just gonna pray for them, you guys. And as we go from that scene to our next scene, baby, it is time to go to Nashville, baby. To Nashville, baby. Okay, we see our girls Britt and Kels, baby. We see our girl Portia at the airport. We see the ladies; they're on their way. We see our girl Shamia, baby. Let's just say the girls is on the way. Like Portia says, the girls needed to get away. They needed a trip, and baby, it's just it's giving a vibe. It's time to have fun. We see the ladies having drinks. We see the ladies getting on the plane. Of course, our girl Miss Angela will be arriving a little late because she missed her flight, but she did book another flight, so she is on her way. Come on, Miss Angela, coined, okay? Baby, it's the ladies are on their way. You know, they're in a black Sprinter van. It's our girl, Britt, Kels, and Shamia. And, you know, they're just laughing, talking, enjoying themselves. And then the next thing you know, y'all, we pull up to the house, baby, in Nashville. Portia comes in, baby, stomach out. Okay, got the cowboy hat on. Baby, they walking up to the house. The house is very, very lovely that Portia rented and got for her big day weekend. Okay, it looks real good. Do you hear me? It looks real nice. She's going around and she's showing the ladies, but before she even shows them, they actually get met at the door by a host and they're introduced. And baby, the ladies take shots, drinks, and you know they go walk around the house and look and they see the rooms Portia has and everyone, you know, sitting and selecting where they can sleep. And baby, it's nice. But we get to one room, y'all, and let's just say it's a very interesting looking room. And we move on from that, and the ladies go to downstairs. And baby, the girls is feeding their faces. The girls is sitting to eat. The girls is finna munch. Her. Okay, they finna, oh, they got good food. They got ribs, macaroni and cheese, cornbread, baby. And the ladies are, you know, talking the kitchen up and having conversation. And, you know, it's just giving a vibe. We're talking about Portia and, you know, her divorce from her ex-husband and how it's just been for her and how she just really needed this getaway. And then not only that, you know, before they were having conversation about some other things, and then baby, we get a knock at the door, and guess who it is, y'all? It is our girl, Miss Angela Oakley, come walking in, busting in, looking good with the bust down, and baby, let's just say, when Miss Angela walked in the room, things became very much so tingly, very interesting. Cause baby, our girl Miss Angela sat down at the table, and of course our girl Britt and Kels sure that they had seen Miss Angela out, and you know she was trying to like duck the girls, but she was like they spoke, they had conversation, and baby, it's just giving very interesting teas, and baby, Miss Angela sits down at this table, and she lets the girls know that yeah, Drew is coming, and everybody's looking like. And she's like, well, I'm just trying to see. I mean, Hey, you said it was a getaway, it was a girls' weekend, you said you had a problem. But I am living. No girls is giving it up. Do you hear me? The girls is giving it up this season. Y'all, as we get ready to go into our new. So yes, y'all. Like I said, so we get back to our next scene, and the ladies are still at the table, and they are talking to Miss Angela, and they're talking about when they seen her in the mall. And then not only that, they telling Miss Angela has told everyone that she invited Drew, and everybody's just like I said before, looking at Miss Angela like, "Girl, how you gonna invite this girl to this lady event and it's her weekend?" And baby, it's giving a lot of tease. But then all the ladies, go to their room. Portia shows Miss Angela her room, and a pillow in there says, "All are welcome." And baby, they get to jumping on the bed, kiki and laughing because they was like, "Oh my gosh, no, no!" But I think it's very telling that the pillow was like, "This is a welcoming affirmation that this lady is coming." Okay, hey, she's coming. True is coming. But baby, the ladies go break off in their rooms. We see everybody making phone calls to their significant other, getting out their bags, their luggages, getting out their items. Just getting ready to have a good time on the trip and enjoy themselves. And baby, as they are all getting ready and prepared to go out, and it's going to be a very, very interesting night. The ladies do look very good from head to toe. Everyone is cowgirl ready. Do you hear me? Bustiers, girls sitting up. It's just giving a vibe. It's giving a whole we finna break it up in Nashville. Okay, big purr. And y'all, we get a scene of Portia, Britt, and Cynthia. And they're in the bathroom. And the ladies are just checking in on Portia and making sure, she's okay with Drew coming and showing up. I mean, I don't see why she wouldn't be. But, Portia does share with the ladies, hey, she's just trying to have a good time. And as we see things start to pick up. Um, but as we get into our next scene, which is day one in Nashville of Portia Day, and Portia has invited some of her good friends and her sister from the A to come join the ladies in Nashville. And baby, it is a vibe. Everybody is all smiles. Baby, they got a rodeo bus. Baby, they done got out of the Sprinter van, and the girls was having themselves a good time on the bus, riding down and through the city and streets of Nashville. Baby, when I tell y'all they is out at this bar and celebrating and tearing up the streets, baby, it is nothing but a good time, baby. And then the girls or the ladies end up going bull riding. And of course, the birthday girl herself gets on the bull, and baby, she is riding that thing. Do you hear me? Riding that thing. And then, baby, but it's a good time. Everybody's showing so much love, so much laughter, so much joy, baby. Britt is on the bull. Oh, the ladies are trying. Okay, then our girl Kels gets on the bull. And we get to ride. Gotta throw them hands up, ride in. It's just giving good times, y'all. Good vibes, good energy. And our girl Kels did last some time on the bull. Okay, Kels. So you know how to ride. Yeah, uh-huh. Okay, then next is our girl Shamia. And baby, Shamia holding on. She got it. She got it. Our girl Shamia got it. She holding on. Her hat then came off, but she's still riding. She's still riding on the big Bronco. And then our girl falls off. But of course, it's still just all laugh, love, and giggles. And it's so good to see. And then the ladies all go sit down and and Portia starts to open gifts. And of course, the ladies are getting orders and their menus. And it's just really, really nice to see. Um, and then, y'all, we go back And it is our girl Drew, and we're back in Atlanta. And Drew is having an album coming soon party. And baby, Dennis has sent her bottles in the section in the club. And baby, Drew and her sister are drinking, having a good time. So this is why Drew's not in Nashville. Because Drew needs to have a celebration back in the hay, okay? But y'all, we didn't go back to Nashville, and we are back at the table with all of the ladies. And of course, we get into about Miss Angela inviting Drew to Portia's party and event. And let's just say there are a lot of thoughts and opinions being given at the table. There are a lot of eyes and glares and stares. And baby, one thing about I give it to Miss Angela gonna stand in it. 10 toes down. She ain't gonna fall, she ain't gonna run, she gonna care. One against all. And at that, I gotta respect. Cause I don't care how many y'all come up saying blah 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 to me. Baby, did, could did. If I said something, I'm gonna stand on it. And when I said it, you ain't had no problem with it then, I had no issue with it now. So I definitely understand. But things are getting very passe, aggresse at this table. And I find it very interesting to see all of this. Because at the table, wasn't nothing is given. But now, baby, cameras, lights, action, roll. Ugh. Ugh. It's just giving, ugh, okay. And y'all, that is how we end episode 7 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Oh my gosh, you guys. And there's still more to come. It has been your girl, Pretty Sexy Jarda Brand, aka Stone Assassin. Until next time, Assassin family, y'all be careful, y'all be safe. And as always, bye on.